Vegas, shine your light on me.
Welcome to Las Vegas Tonight. Join award-winning host Dale Davidson as he interviews the most remarkable people you'll find in the entertainment capital of the world. You'll meet entertainers, sports figures, newsmakers, community and business leaders, and people just like you with stories that'll touch your heart. Now, here's Dale Davidson.
Boy, are we having fun at Freedom Fest in Las Vegas, Nevada, where we're celebrating what? Freedom. Thank you so much for tuning in to Las Vegas Tonight. I'm your host, Dale Davidson. We have a fascinating guest with us. He has 3 names, and that proves he's important. Allen Pell Crawford, ladies and gentlemen. He's written a terrific book. It's very fun. A historian who's funny. That's why I asked you.
It's a very grim business.
It is.
It is. You spend your life breathing in the air of archives in obscure places, in libraries that no one else wants to go.
Yeah,
and
I know.
it's worse than black lung disease.
Oh, it is. I believe you.
At some point.
I believe you.
Asbestos
Original research is dusty, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm too old.
Yeah, I understand.
I find interns.
Yes.
And I don't pay them. I pay them the way Bernie Sanders pays his employees, less than $15 an hour.
What, is that right?
Yes.
Wow.
They're all,
what does that tell us about him?
They're all going on strike right now.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because they want to be paid $15 an hour.
Wow. Because after all, what does Bernie propose that America do? There you are. Tell us about being a historian. Why did you decide?
You have to ask a real historian.
A real?
I write nonfiction books that are about the past.
Okay. To me, that's a historian, but
yeah, but ask any historian that knows who I am,
and they'll say, nah, he's a writer.
Yeah, he's one of these journalists who parachuted into our behind
yeah.
enemy lines, and he's really not very good at what he does.
Yeah, of course.
Because his subjects aren't small enough.
Oh, yeah.
What they like. I've written a biography of Thomas Jefferson, for example, called Twilight at Monticello, which is his last years. They didn't like that book. What they like is someone who, instead of writing a book on Thomas Jefferson's final years, they want a book that examines soil samples in an Albemarle County, Virginia plantation from the year 1774 to 1775.
Yes.
And then they can then they will know more about those soil samples and what tobacco was doing to them.
Yes.
And they view someone who actually tries to write for the general intelligent reader as a kind of apostate.
Yeah.
A wannabe.
Yeah. Somebody once told me that a definition of a PhD is somebody who knows more and more and more about less and less and less.
That's true. And you know the musical equivalent of that is the difference between a jazz guitarist and a blues guitarist.
Oh, really? I like both. Tell me what's the difference.
A jazz guitarist plays 3,000 chords for 3 people. And a blues guitarist plays 3 chords for 3,000 people.
That's right. There you go.
Right. Who wants to listen to something else when you can listen to that?
Oh yeah, I love the blues. So tell us about Mark Twain. I love Mark Twain. Why did you decide to write about Mark Twain?
I love Mark Twain.
He was not a historian either. He was a writer.
Everybody loved Mark Twain.
Yeah. How can you not love him?
And it's a great experience to spend a year of your life writing a book about Mark Twain.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you should try it sometime.
I might.
Because it's such a wonderfully enriching, life-affirming experience. But I got interested. I mean, everybody reads Mark Twain as a child, or at least they should.
Yeah, they really should.
Yeah. I lived on a farm, and we had a pond. And when I was in my Tom Sawyer Huckleberry Finn phase, I would regularly go down to the pond with a lot of lumber.
Yes.
And I would
create what we used to call a UFO, unidentified floating object.
Except this one didn't float. So it was. So I would latch these things together in some way, and immediately it would sink.
Yeah.
And my dad apparently looked out the back window of the house and said to my mother, well, there goes Allen throwing another load of lumber into the pond. So, I think the water level went up. But
That's
no,
hilarious.
so I read a lot of that stuff and was completely intoxicated by it. But then years and years went by, and I picked up a copy of the 1926 version of Twain's autobiography.
Wow.
And was going through it and fascinated, and he began to talk about his money problems.
Yeah, he did have them.
Oh, horrible.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is fascinating, and nobody's told this story.
Yeah.
And so I just zeroed in on his business life.
Yeah.
And he really, I mean, from the time he was a boy, his goal in life was to make a great fortune. Writing became sort of a means to an end.
That's what, okay, that was a way of making a living.
That's right. And he tried a number of things and wasn't, in fact, he tried to corner the cocaine market when he was 18.
Are you serious? I didn't know that.
He found out that there were these people working in the silver mines in the Amazon.
Right.
And they could stand knee deep in freezing water.
Right.
All day long in the silver mines. And remarkably enough, they were not unhappy.
And why would that be? He said.
That's right. They never got tired. They never complained. And he said, "Isn't this wonderful?" And he found out it's because they're chewing these coca leaves.
Coca leaves. Yeah.
And he said, "Now, if I can get down there and buy up a lot of land,
and grow this stuff,
then I can bring this stuff back to the industrial world."
Yeah. And kids will love it.
Yeah.
Everyone will.
Everyone will love it.
We'll have a cola called.
That's right, Coca-Cola.
That's right. Yeah.
And he had all this scheme worked out, and then he got on a riverboat, I think in St. Louis to New Orleans, and from there he was going to go to the Amazon. And then he found out once he was down there that there were no such ships leaving.
Really?
So he got back on a riverboat, and on the way back to St. Louis and then to Hannibal, Missouri, he got in a conversation with the pilot of the riverboat.
Yeah, okay.
And he became a Cub pilot on the Mississippi, and that's where he spent a few years of his life as a riverboat pilot.
I didn't know that.
That period we kind of know about.
Yeah.
But so Twain, from early childhood, had this desire to make a great fortune. So he tried his hand at a few different things, and he began to write articles for the newspapers out west when he was living in the Nevada
Virginia City.
Mines,
Virginia City,
so,
right up here.
So he wrote a few articles, and people thought they were funny.
Yeah.
And he wrote a letter to his brother, and he said, I've done this, and people seem to like it. There seems to be a demand for it. And he says, I'm not particularly proud. It's nothing to be proud of. But he says, I think this might be the best card I've got to play. And he published a small collection of his first sketches, and wrote a letter to his mother, and he said, I don't expect to make any money out of this. I'm just doing it to advertise myself.
Yeah, yeah.
And so eventually
build his brand.
He was a world's greatest brand manager.
Was he? Yeah.
Oh, he was terrific.
Yeah.
And we can go
great self-promoter.
Great without being obnoxious like you and I are.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Like the guy that was on here before us.
That's right.
The ones who are motivational speakers.
Yeah, that's
They're
right.
going to tell the rest of us how to
do it.
How to be as successful as they are. We can get into those
going
kind
from
of books.
town to town.
This book is a spoof of leadership lessons books.
Is it really?
Yes.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
So he did a number of things, and then he began to write, and he was successful at this. And then he began to give lectures, and he made more money on the lecture circuit than he ever did from his books.
I didn't know that.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then when his first book was the first real book, not these collections of short stories and stuff that were really very small releases and all that. He wrote he got on an excursion boat to Europe and the Holy Land.
Oh, okay.
For one of the California newspapers. Mm-hmm. And he published a collection of those travel stories, and it was The Innocents Abroad, which became a huge international bestseller. So now he has money.
Right.
And one of his friends on the riverboat, on the cruise ship, is the younger brother of a young lady in Elmira, New York.
Okay.
So he arranged to meet her.
Right.
And her father was a very successful coal baron.
Really?
And against his father-in-law's better judgment, she married him.
Right.
And the man was obliging, the father-in-law was obliging enough to die about a year and a half after the wedding. So not only as a wedding present, he gave them a fully decorated mansion in Buffalo.
In Buffalo, New York, yeah.
With servants.
Wow.
He didn't tell him about this.
Yeah.
On their wedding night, the carriages pulled up, and he said, I don't know, we're lost. And it pulled up in front of this magnificent house in Buffalo and gave him the keys to the house, and the mortgage was paid.
Wow.
So that's the wedding present.
Jackpot.
Yeah. He calls himself Little Sammy in Fairyland at this point, because the man died about a year and a half after the wedding, and Twain inherited the equivalent of several $1 million.
Wow. And he wanted money, and here it is.
Now, here's his chance to make a lot more money.
Yeah. We're going to take a brief break. When you come back, you're going to continue this story, which, by the way, is fascinating. See how I did that? I'm not saying goodbye. I'm just shaking his hand. The book is called How Not to Get Rich: The Financial Misadventures of Mark Twain, by my guest, Allen Pell Crawford. You can get the book by going to Amazon, going to a bookstore, going anywhere.
Even where not finer books are sold.
That's mediocre books are sold.
Lousy books.
He is the finest book in otherwise mediocre bookstores. We'll be back with Allen Crawford right after this.
Dale Davidson and the team at Las Vegas Tonight firmly believe that the only solution to today's serious problems is the saving knowledge of Jesus Christ. Dale carefully selects his guests on the show, making sure that their dedication to our Lord is heartfelt and genuine, and that their ministries are making a strong and positive difference in the world. Dale doesn't charge anyone to be on Las Vegas Tonight. The cost to produce and air the programs are covered by donations from our ministries partners. We thank you so much for your financial support, and most of all for your prayers. Please consider becoming a partner of Dale Wynn Davidson Ministries for just $40 per month. For a little more than $1 a day, you'll be helping us bring the good news of Jesus Christ to millions of people around the world. The television networks that broadcast the program reach from coast to coast in the United States, and through internet apps cover the entire world. Your $40 monthly contribution entitles you to Dale's newsletter that gives you a behind-the-scenes look at the production of Las Vegas Tonight and inside information on the exciting guests Dale interviews on every episode. You'll also receive a copy of Dale's book, Las Vegas Tonight, From Sin City to Vegas Saints, an in-depth look at 10 of Dale's most intriguing guests, plus a very personal story of how Dale came to Christ and the challenges he faces in bringing the good news to the world. Become a partner of our ministry today by going to Dale Wynn Davidson Ministries website and clicking on the donate button, or by emailing Dale at dale@lasvegastonight.tv. Or you can write him at Dale Davidson, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, Suite 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. Thank you for watching Las Vegas Tonight, and may God bless you abundantly. Las Vegas Tonight profiles the innovators of many wonderful Christian ministries in Las Vegas and around the world. Each of the hundreds of episodes of our show is a fantastic story of how Jesus Christ can change hearts and lives. To keep Las Vegas Tonight on the air, Dale needs your prayers and financial support. Please prayerfully consider becoming a monthly partner of Dale Wynn Davidson Ministries. For just $40 a month, your partnership with the ministry will entitle you to a monthly newsletter that includes details on past and future guests on the program, plus a copy of Dale's best-selling book, Las Vegas Tonight, From Sin City to Vegas Saints. This page-turner highlights 10 of Dale's most intriguing guests plus his own personal testimony on his walk with Jesus. If you act now, Dale will also place you on his weekly personal devotions email list. You'll be uplifted and genuinely blessed by his optimistic view of the Christian life. You can become a monthly partner of the ministry by going to Dale Wynn Davidson Ministries website and clicking on the donate button. Or you can email Dale at dale@lasvegastonight.tv or write him at Dale Davidson, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, Suite 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. Thank you for watching Las Vegas Tonight, and may God bless you abundantly.
The Lord has made it possible for our show, Las Vegas Tonight, to thrive. We've produced well over 300 episodes telling the remarkable stories of Christians who have set out to change the world for the better. It's my honor to lead this ministry. As the founder of Dale Wynn Davidson Ministries, I'm commanded to be a good steward of all the donations our partners have so generously provided to us. As you can imagine, it takes a great deal of money to keep this program on the air in the United States and around the world. Please prayerfully consider making a one-time donation or becoming a monthly partner of Dale Wynn Davidson Ministries. Just go to vegassaints.org and select Make a Donation, or send your check or money order made out to Dale Wynn Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. For more information, call 702-480-3989. Thank you, and God bless you. How Not to Get Rich by my guest, Allen Pell Crawford. I'll shut up now and continue the story. I don't remember. It was really, really important. Oh, he got the house, he got married, he got the house, he got the servants, and now you said, I can make some real money now.
Oh yeah, you know what they say. Well, and he made money. He lost money at businesses he didn't know anything about, which is to be expected.
Yeah, sure.
But he lost money at businesses he knew a lot about.
Really?
For example, he had been. He'd worked as a printer's devil in his brother's print shop.
I was going to say printing. He failed at printing.
He failed at print, and that's when you type by hand.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And he also was intimately involved in basically the early days of a kind of self-publishing, which is not the respectable way to publish your books. His were sold by subscription.
Oh, okay.
At any rate, he lost money doing the thing, even in businesses that he did know something about. But he was and you know, by the way, as far as making money in publishing, do you know how to make a small fortune in publishing?
Don't know.
Start out with a large fortune. So
yeah, that's good. I like that.
Twain was an inventor. Mm-hmm. His father tried to invent a perpetual motion machine.
Really?
Spent years of his life with that.
Wow.
And his brother tried to invent a flying machine.
Really?
Yeah. So Twain had it in his blood.
Yeah, yeah.
And
what did he try to invent?
He invented a board game that was for to help children improve their memories.
Oh, okay.
So names and dates and that kind of thing. But it was so complicated that even Twain forgot the rules. And
you've overdone this.
That's right. And somebody looked at it and they said it looked like a cross between a tax form and a table of logarithms.
And what could be more fun than that?
Yeah. And that obviously didn't succeed. He invented Mark Twain's elastic strap.
And what did the strap do?
Well, he went to visit Horace Greeley at the New York World, I believe.
I think that's right.
And he noticed that Greeley was not only very rude to him and abrupt, but that his pants, Twain said, didn't hang gracefully enough.
Yes.
So Twain...
He had droopy drawers.
He had droopy drawers. And so Twain thought a lot about this. And he came up with an adjustable elastic strap.
Okay.
That was supposed to help men keep their pants up.
Okay. Still, I think it could sell today.
Well, in fact, he never made any money. Men never did it, but it does live on.
Oh, really?
The only device that uses something very similar is ladies' bras.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
That's right.
Does that thing. Yeah.
Yes.
And it fits tight then.
That's right.
Wow.
Snug. I think we'd like to say
Snug.
snug.
Yeah, we don't want to say
it's
tight.
supportive.
It's very supportive. It lifts and separates.
The elastic strap.
Yeah.
Oh, the baby bed clamp.
The baby bed clamp.
Yes.
I want to hear this one.
Twain had 4 children, only one really lived through adulthood.
Yeah.
So he had been around babies,
Yeah.
and he noticed that they had a tendency to kick the covers and sheets off their beds.
Of course.
This worried him. For some reason, this troubled him. It never troubled anybody else. For years,
They're
thousands
going to
of
get
years.
cold. They're going to get cold.
Yeah.
Or something bad's going to happen.
And he worked and worked and worked and worked on this. And in fact, by the time he was working on the baby bed clamp, he was also in the book publishing business, which we'll get to in a second. These misadventures overlap. And so he worked on the baby bed clamp, and then, while his business manager was also rushing to get Huckleberry Finn out to the public.
Right, yeah.
And at one point, Twain said, "Stop the business about the book. Focus on the baby bed clamp."
It can't miss.
That's right. This
Cannot miss.
And they checked the prices on this, and
That's hilarious.
And Twain said, "Oh, the problem is you're setting the price too low.
Oh, I see.
We need to raise the price."
Raise the price.
And meanwhile, the business manager, this had been going on so long that the business manager had actually been the baby, that had been the guinea pig of the baby bed clamp. And
So this is like 30 years later,
yes,
he's still working on this
thinking
clamp.
about this. He's still trying to perfect this thing. So, business manager finally says, "Look, I've kept my mouth shut long enough. This is a terrible idea. It's not going to go anywhere. Any reasonable parent that's alert, even sentient, would be able to devise such a thing on their own for
Cents.
25 cents, right?"
That's right.
And he said, it didn't even work very well. And he said, "I was too young at the time to remember Uncle Sam Clemens' response to this." But he said, my guess is he would have said, "If it doesn't work, find another baby." So I'm trying to think of what some of the other great investments were. Oh, he was living in Europe for a while because he would run out of. It was costing too much to live in this country, so he took his family to Europe.
Yeah.
Where it was cheaper.
He's spending down this inheritance to next to nothing, right?
Yeah,
with these schemes.
That's right. And so they're living in Europe, and they're living in very nice hotels and eating great meals and being wined and dined by Russian princes and British aristocrats and all of this stuff. But he discovers something over there called plasmin.
Plasmin.
And plasmin is a food additive.
Wow.
So it's made from the waste products fed to pigs.
Oh, great. What could be better than that?
And he says it's 100% albumin. And
we need albumin.
quarter of a pound of this is like eating 4 pounds of beefsteak.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It will feed the world's hungry and cure the world's sick.
There you go.
His wife was a very frail woman.
She
was a typical late 1800s well-to-do young woman who suffered from, I think they called it neurasthenia.
Vapors.
That kind of thing. She couldn't get out of bed for years. And so Twain, of course, force feeds her plasmin. Says the doctors don't want to feed, but the doctors don't want to. They don't like this stuff, and he said, "No, keep feeding her
eating it.
Plasmin.
Eat this stuff."
Yeah. Well, he installed himself as the president of the American Plasmin Company.
Okay, good.
And brought it back to this country. And he lost several $100,000 on plasmin. And when he died,
absolutely huge demand for this product.
Yeah, I'm still looking for it.
Yeah.
And it's when he died, he had 375 shares of the American Plasmin Company. It was all worthless, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
There was the New York Vaporizer Company.
Oh, well, vaporizers work.
This was not what that meant.
Oh, okay.
This was a device to extract steam from coal.
Oh, why would you do that? Isn't it the other? Oh, okay.
Yes, that's right.
Tell me how this worked.
He never quite was sure. He took the whole idea to engineers, mechanical engineers, in Hartford, where the Colt armament company was.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And asked the engineers to look at it, and they said, this is a ridiculous idea. They said there's not that much, there's no steam in a coal anyway, and Twain later ruefully admitted after losing several $100,000 at that, he said, once I figured it out, he said, there's not much steam in a pound of coal, and he said, and to get it out of there, you could have used a tea kettle. Then he got into the book publishing.
He did not have the knack, by the way.
No.
Yeah.
He was convinced that his publishers had ripped him off.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So he gets into the book publishing business, which he knew a lot about.
He should.
He micromanaged the other publishers.
Right.
He was
Drove him
involved
crazy.
in paper stock and the images on the cover and all of this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, and he'd grown up in a newspaper shop, so he knew a lot about this. So the first book, there was the Webster Publishing Company. By the way, Charles Webster, the book publishing manager, was also the baby bed clamp guinea pig, who Twain is installed now to run the publishing company. That's where he was saying, stop worrying about Huckleberry Finn.
That's nothing.
We want the baby bed clamp. So Twain's first book they published was the biggest success in American publishing history.
Really?
It was the Memoirs of General Grant.
Wow.
He made $4 million in today's money off that book.
Wow.
Grant's widow made $6 million.
Wow.
It was a huge
That's big
success.
money in those days. Huge money.
And the second book they published was Huckleberry Finn.
Wow.
It was a big success.
Yeah.
It's hard to calculate the earnings of that because the book's never been out of print. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, but they published, the next run of books didn't do so well. One of them was called The Biography of Ephraim McDowell, Father of Ovariotomy.
Huh?
He was the first man to learn how to perform ovary surgery. And then there was one called...
And that is, I'll tell you, in the top, that's got to be in the top 3 interests of all Americans.
Well, everybody I know's read that one. Then there was 100 Ways of Cooking Eggs.
Oh, good.
Then there was one...
We only need about 90, but go ahead.
There was one called The Speech of Monkeys.
The Speech of Monkeys.
In 2 parts. In volumes 1 and 2.
Oh.
And then there was one called A Perplexed Philosopher. An examination of the various utterances of Mr. Herbert Spencer on the land question.
Wow.
And Twain went bust at book publishing.
That's unbelievable.
So
Yeah.
by the time he's made millions and lost millions.
Right.
He made more money on the lecture circuit.
He'd always go to that well when he was broke.
So he then becomes he goes bankrupt, or he's about to go bankrupt.
Yeah.
And a friend introduces him to a man named H. Rogers,
Okay.
who was a notorious robber baron.
Really?
Big job at Standard Oil in New York, and he had made lots of money in oil and steel, and was
all that stuff.
I checked, and somewhere in the book, it's a list. It's a list of the richest people in American history. Bill Gates is up there. And, and Jeffrey Epstein.
Really?
He's
There you
right
go.
up there. He's near the top.
Wow.
Donald Trump is very high up there.
Yeah, I'll bet he is. Yeah, I'll bet he is.
He's richer than George Washington.
George Washington, they said for a long time, had been the richest man in America.
Yeah, but Trump had more people come to his inauguration.
And he could prove
say
it,
he's going to have.
He had a photograph.
He's the most. His impeachment is going to have the highest ratings of any president.
It's going to be huge.
Ever. It's going to be huge.
It's going to be big league.
Yeah.
It's going to be big league. We have to take another brief break. Here's the book. We demand you buy this. We demand it. And who could not want it? How Not to Get Rich. By my guest, Allen Pell Crawford. See that? We'll be back with more right after this.
Las Vegas Tonight profiles the innovators of many wonderful Christian ministries in Las Vegas and around the world. Each of the hundreds of episodes of our show is a fantastic story of how Jesus Christ can change hearts and lives. To keep Las Vegas Tonight on the air, Dale needs your prayers and financial support. Please prayerfully consider becoming a monthly partner of Dale Davidson Ministries. For just $40 a month, your partnership with the ministry will entitle you to a monthly newsletter that includes details on past and future guests on the program, plus a copy of Dale's best-selling book, Las Vegas Tonight, From Sin City to Vegas Saints. This page-turner highlights 10 of Dale's most intriguing guests, plus his own personal testimony on his walk with Jesus. If you act now, Dale will also place you on his weekly personal devotions email list. You'll be uplifted and genuinely blessed by his optimistic view of the Christian life. You can become a monthly partner of the ministry by going to Dale Davidson Ministries website and clicking on the donate button. Or you can email Dale at lasvegastonight.tv or write him at Dale Davidson, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, Suite 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. Thank you for watching Las Vegas Tonight, and may God bless you abundantly. Dale Davidson and the team at Las Vegas Tonight firmly believe that the only solution to today's serious problems is the saving knowledge of Jesus Christ. Dale carefully selects his guests on the show, making sure that their dedication to our Lord is heartfelt and genuine, and that their ministries are making a strong and positive difference in the world. Dale doesn't charge anyone to be on Las Vegas Tonight. The cost to produce and air the programs are covered by donations from our ministry's partners. We thank you so much for your financial support, and most of all for your prayers. Please consider becoming a partner of Dale Davidson Ministries for just $40 per month. For a little more than $1 a day, you'll be helping us bring the good news of Jesus Christ to millions of people around the world. The television networks that broadcast the program reach from coast to coast in the United States, and through internet apps cover the entire world. Your $40 monthly contribution entitles you to Dale's newsletter that gives you a behind-the-scenes look at the production of Las Vegas Tonight and inside information on the exciting guests Dale interviews on every episode. You'll also receive a copy of Dale's book, Las Vegas Tonight, From Sin City to Vegas Saints, an in-depth look at 10 of Dale's most intriguing guests, plus a very personal story of how Dale came to Christ and the challenges he faces in bringing the good news to the world. Become a partner of our ministry today by going to Dale Davidson Ministries website and clicking on the donate button, or by emailing Dale at lasvegastonight.tv. Or you could write him at Dale Davidson, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, Suite 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. Thank you for watching Las Vegas Tonight, and may God bless you abundantly.
The Lord has made it possible for our show, Las Vegas Tonight, to thrive. We've produced well over 300 episodes telling the remarkable stories of Christians who have set out to change the world for the better. It's my honor to lead this ministry. As the founder of Dale Davidson Ministries, I'm commanded to be a good steward of all the donations our partners have so generously provided to us. As you can imagine, it takes a great deal of money to keep this program on the air in the United States and around the world. Please prayerfully consider making a one-time donation or becoming a monthly partner of Dale Davidson Ministries. Just go to vegassaints.org and select Make a Donation, or send your check or money order made out to Dale Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. For more information, call 702-480-3989. Thank you, and God bless you. And welcome back to Las Vegas Tonight. Boy, this is a fascinating guy. I would say you're a fascinating guy. You're funny. You're not really a historian, though, I noticed. You know?
Not that good. I tried.
Why would you want to know all about the soil? Never mind. It doesn't matter. We don't like PhDs to start with. Do you have a PhD?
No.
Okay, good. I don't either. Allen Pell Crawford. Buy his book, please. Okay, H.H. Rogers.
H.H. Rogers. Okay, when Mark Twain had blown all his money,
Yeah.
he was befriended by a man who had been an admirer of his for years and years and years, who'd actually heard him give a speech on his trip to the Sandwich Islands.
Oh, wow.
Twain had given a lecture in San Francisco
Okay.
many, many years before, and Rogers had read all his books and was a big fan. And Rogers was a notorious robber baron, plutocrat.
Economic royalist.
Exactly,
Yes.
all of those things,
Yeah.
and was a hard-charging businessman, but a very oddly, I shouldn't say that, but he was also a very kind and decent sort of person who took Twain under his wing.
Yeah, for a robber baron, you don't
And
run into that much.
Twain said, "I don't care. All these people hate him, but he said he cares for me and my family, and he's giving me all this advice that's worth thousands of dollars an hour, and he's just helping me rebuild, put my life back together."
Yeah.
Well, H.H. Rogers was referred to. People said the H.H. stood for hellhound.
Wow.
Yeah, he had a bad reputation even among,
Other robber barons.
That's right.
Wow.
So
That's
one
tough.
of Twain's high-minded literary friends came to him at one point and he said, you shouldn't be messing around with this man.
Yeah, don't hang with this dude.
And he said, his money is tainted.
All right.
And Twain said, it's twice tainted. It taint yours and it taint mine. So Rogers.
Love it.
Rogers encouraged Twain to go on a worldwide, or at least English-speaking, lecture tour.
Oh, okay.
So Twain was in his late 50s at the time.
Yeah.
That was old in
Yeah,
those days. Today,
yeah.
it's like, it's
Nothing.
the new 30.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's the new 18.
Yeah, and as I get older and older, it becomes, younger
It's
and
great.
younger. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, me too.
So Twain is not in great health. He's 58 years old, and he goes on this worldwide lecture tour.
Yeah.
And he basically sends the earnings right back to Rogers,
Yeah.
and Rogers invests them.
Which was smart.
Finally.
Do not do this on your own.
That's
I think he
right.
would have learned this by 50,
Yeah.
whatever he was. No.
Took him a long time. And Rogers at one point after this, and I'll circle right back to the story, but Twain says, hey, now that I've got things back together, I found something to invest in. And Rogers says, please remember, it's a lot easier to get into trouble than it is to get out of it. Anyway, so Rogers arranged for Twain's bankruptcy.
Really?
Yeah. So he structured the whole thing so that, and it's contemporary I mean today's scholars and analysts and
Right.
people that are much smarter than I am.
PhDs.
Oh, PhDs,
Yeah.
even master's degree people.
That's right.
They look at this.
I got an associate's
Even
degree.
people with GEDs have examined the question.
Examine this question.
And they have said that what he did was illegal.
Really?
Yeah, what Rogers did was he transferred the assets
Right.
to Twain's wife, Olivia,
Oh, okay.
including the earnings from the books,
Everything.
to even his future books.
Wow.
So the creditors tried to come after Twain, and he said, I'm broke.
I don't have any money.
I don't have anything.
Yeah.
He turned his pockets inside out.
See? Yeah.
His wife had the money.
Yeah. And she was frail.
And she was frail, but
I
she was
remember that.
eating that plasmon. So Twain then rebuilt his fortune, and he died. He was worth in our day $11 million.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done worse.
Yeah, me too. I am doing worse than that.
So what can we learn from this?
Don't think you're a genius because you can write.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
In fact, I wrote this book in part as a spoof of leadership lessons books.
Yeah.
You haven't written any of those, have you?
No, I have not.
See, I believe there's a there's a value to reading history and biography.
Yes.
But it's not that.
What is it?
It's what those books tend to do is take a successful and famous person's life, and then they go back and they try to make it as like our lives as possible.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like George Washington was just a
extrapolate.
21st century CEO, and
Right.
here's how he did it.
Yeah.
So then they look back and they cherry pick anecdotes that reinforce the banalities we already believe.
No. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They'll say George Washington called a council of war, and Mad Anthony Wayne was late that morning, and
Right.
George Washington chewed him out. And the leadership lesson is a leader is always on time.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Or a leader is a good listener.
Yeah. Right.
All this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And
Meaningless, by the way.
meaningless.
Yeah.
And so if you try to read history that way, to make it as like your own life as possible, you're going to miss the whole experience.
Yeah.
The experience is to take yourself and immerse yourself
Yeah.
in a world unlike your own.
Yeah.
Then you expand your historical imagination and you come out from this experience as a wiser, more thoughtful, more understanding person. That will make you a better CEO.
Yeah. More successful, period.
Yeah, it will, because you'll be
it's
a better
like travel.
person.
It's like travel.
That's right, but
Yeah.
you don't go into it saying, I really need to know if I should be a good listener, so I'm going to read about George Washington.
Right, yeah.
No, it doesn't work
Makes
that way.
no sense.
So this book, unlike those books that tell you about everything the guy did turned out great, everything he did blew up.
That's right.
It's a disaster. It's terrible.
That's
And you know, when he went broke, it was slightly embarrassing because the whole world knew about it.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
imagine it did.
There were newspaper articles in London, and Mark Twain loses it all.
Yeah, that's right.
He was embarrassed.
What about the typewriter?
Oh, the page compositor.
That's what it was.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Okay, publishing, newspaper publishing, print publishing hadn't changed much since Gutenberg.
Right, yeah. Movable type.
Movable, yeah. So there was a genuine need for a machine to set type,
Yes,
mechanically.
yes.
So Twain found a young inventor who had developed this idea.
Okay.
And so Twain put him on the payroll and just kept
Throwing money at
shoveling
it.
money at him. And the man was, you know, was a bit of a perfectionist, but he's also a bit of a con man. So
Yeah.
he kept the longer,
Stalling,
you know.
yeah.
Twain didn't give him a deadline, and when that happens, the incentive is
Murphy's
all on
rule, yeah.
expanding the time in which you have to
task.
do this. That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So eventually, Twain had spent the equivalent of $4 million on this. Wow. And meanwhile, he had it tested. It was in Chicago, in the newspapers in Chicago. And Twain had figured out how many billions of pages had to be published in newspapers. Yeah, and how many billions of dollars he was going to make. It was a ridiculous amount. Well, the Mergenthaler Company came up with a machine, and they got it out there, and it was more efficient, more reliable, and it was a better machine. And they got it to market and cornered the market.
The linotype machine.
What became linotype.
Yeah.
And so Twain's great invention, I think it's in Elmira somewhere. I think you can actually see it if you're,
sitting in
really
the front,
weird and want to.
in the front room of some place he used to live
Yeah.
or something. Yeah. For a man with great imagination, he had no discernment in the business world.
None.
How do those things go together?
You know, I don't know, and it would be interesting to know what was going on in his mind.
He's so smart. He was
so
a smart guy.
He's a tremendous imagination. He comes from an interesting family, a father who was a failed lawyer and a failed storekeeper, who, by the way, I'll tell you another story.
Yeah, I want to hear it. Yeah.
His father died when he was in his 40s, I believe, and he said, I'm not going to be able to leave you anything. Your family, and that's terrible, and you're going, you know, I'm going to leave you in poverty.
Gonna be poor, yeah.
So when they were moving from Virginia through Tennessee into Missouri, he scrounged up enough money to buy some acreage.
Okay.
In what is now Knoxville.
Oh, okay.
And he said, if you just hang on to this money, we're all going to be fabulously rich. Just hang on to it until the right time.
Yeah.
And then sell it.
Yeah.
Well, they put Twain's brother, Orion Clemens, in charge of this. And Orion, over a period of years, sold it in dribs and drabs.
Yeah.
And all they had was a house, a lot in Minneapolis, I think, or St. Paul.
Yeah.
Like one little building lot was all that was left of all this acreage.
Oh, no.
And so in part of this, at one point Twain wrote to his mother and his sisters, and he said, I don't want to hear anything more about this. This is on you. I'm done with it.
It was your idea.
Yeah, and we don't have anything to show for it. And I got in touch with real estate people in that area of the country while writing this book.
Yeah.
And if that property today would be worth $70 million.
Wow.
So if they had only listened to his father.
Yeah, yeah.
He was right. They would have been rich.
Yeah. I talked to a guy the other day who said his uncle bought where the Cromwell sits on Las Vegas Boulevard at, what is that? Is that Flamingo? Flamingo and the Strip, right? Yeah. In 1952. And then I don't know how much he got or how long it took, but he became a zillionaire.
Yeah.
You know? But the fallacy in this is when they say, if only I had bought those 2 acres at the corner of Tropicana and Las Vegas Boulevard in 1952, I'd be wealthy. Well, even then it cost 10 grand. Yeah. And who had 10 grand?
You know, there's something...
In 1952.
There's something also in... Are you a baseball fan?
I love baseball.
Have you ever heard of the myth of the predestined hit?
No.
Okay.
I want to know this.
If you're watching a ball game...
Right.
And let's say there's a runner on first.
Right.
And he gets thrown out at trying to steal second.
Right.
And then the next hitter knocks the ball into right field.
Right. And there would have been a run.
That's right. Then they'll say, "Oh, if he just
if only he hadn't."
That's right.
Screwed up.
And a fallacy.
I never heard it called that.
A fallacy there is that it assumes that the pitcher would have pitched the same way to the batter with a man on second.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have.
No.
Well, you can't say whether he would have or not, but the hit was not predestined.
Yeah. I never understood predestination, and now I do.
Calvin wrote it. It was John Calvin who wrote about the myth of the predestined hit. It's one of his lesser-known works.
I knew there was a reason that John Calvin made sense.
You have to have read everything as I have. The Institutes of the Christian Religion, it's in a footnote.
Is it? Yes. It's right down there. It's on page 38. Yeah. I've heard that. You're hilarious. I want to do a part 2, but I don't have the energy.
Well, we'll do it tomorrow.
Okay.
Find me.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to buy this book. How to Get Rich.
No, it's How Not to Get Rich.
Is that what I said? Oh.
You said How to Get Rich.
I stumbled. How Not to Get Rich. That's the key point from the last hour. If I'd been paying attention, I wouldn't have made that mistake. The Financial Misadventures of Mark Twain, Allen Pell Crawford, who's been my guest. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Yes. And thank you for watching Las Vegas Tonight. The Lord has made it possible for our show, Las Vegas Tonight, to thrive. We've produced well over 300 episodes telling the remarkable stories of Christians who have set out to change the world for the better. It's my honor to lead this ministry. As the founder of Dale Davidson Ministries, I'm commanded to be a good steward of all the donations our partners have so generously provided to us. As you can imagine, it takes a great deal of money to keep this program on the air in the United States and around the world. Please prayerfully consider making a one-time donation or becoming a monthly partner of Dale Davidson Ministries. Just go to vegassaints.org and select Make a Donation, or send your check or money order made out to Dale Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. For more information, call 702-480-3989. Thank you, and God bless you. Hello, I'm Dale Davidson. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Las Vegas Tonight. allow me to take just a few moments to let you know how you can learn more about some of the fascinating guests that I've interviewed. My new book, Las Vegas Tonight, From Sin City to Vegas Saints, is now available around the world. In it, I profile amazing people who make Las Vegas something much more than just a place to party. These compelling stories often tell of people who came to Las Vegas for reasons much different than the innovative ministries they ended up leading right here in Sin City. Take, for example, Tommy Scott, known as Hitman to his fellow members of an infamous gang in South Central Los Angeles. Tommy was serving time in a Las Vegas jail and contemplating suicide when a couple of pastors visited him in the lockup and led him to Christ. Tommy immediately began studying the Word and has become an on-fire evangelist and Christian author. Then there's Annie Meadows. Annie began life in a rural part of Kentucky, increasingly was fascinated with the occult, and eventually became a full-fledged witch. Rejecting anything having to do with God, she angrily vowed never to attend church or have anything at all to do with religion. Then, like Tommy, she had an encounter with the living Christ and now travels the world as a gospel singer and writes Christian children's books. Pastor Chris Chappell was an avowed atheist who also wanted nothing to do with the Lord. He was a successful businessman who felt he surely didn't need Jesus. His wife and father-in-law convinced him to attend church, and he felt a stirring that made him investigate the Bible's claims. Telling the Lord that he needed answers to his objections, he found those answers in a supernatural way and is now leading a remarkable church, Casa de Luz, in what's called the Naked City, which is a neighborhood just off the famous Las Vegas Strip. This formerly crime-ridden area is now experiencing a remarkable turnaround, and his church is serving that community in amazing ways. Doc Jones traveled to Las Vegas from New York on a personal mission to make as much money as he could. A born entrepreneur, he started a photography business that specialized in taking pictures of groups of partiers at the hot nightclubs on the Strip. He then learned that by referring young guys to the city's strip clubs, he could pick up lots of cash from the club's owners. That evolved into sending young women who were wannabe strippers to these so-called gentlemen's clubs, and then he managed their careers. Eventually, he felt so empty and despondent that he too thought seriously of suicide. Hearing a sermon about the prodigal son caused him to dedicate his life to Christ. Now an exceptional musician and composer of gospel rap, hip-hop, and spoken word genres, he is helping change Las Vegas from a place where sin abounds to a city where grace abounds more. Pastor Clegg Seth was an aspiring actor and screenwriter in Hollywood and a strong Christian who wanted to make a real difference for Christ in the entertainment world. But the Lord called him to establish a crisis hotline for runaway teens who were coming to Hollywood to pursue their silver screen dreams. He then started halfway houses for men and women with substance abuse and other problems. He also helped set up a similar men's home in Las Vegas. At one point, he developed a gambling habit, but the Lord delivered him from that problem, and he now devotes his life to sharing Christ with men in prison, serving seniors in a church setting, along with visits to nursing homes and hospitals. He has continued his quest to influence Hollywood through a ministry called the Christian Studio. I personally really look up to Clegg Seth as a model of how a Christian should live and serve others. He truly is one of the Vegas saints. Read these stories and more in this 226-page book, Las Vegas Tonight, From Sin City to Vegas Saints. You can get your copy in several different ways. Go to my website, vegassaints.org, or order it on Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com. It's just $15.99 plus shipping. For more information or to make a donation to Dale Davidson Ministries that will help us keep this program on the air, please call 702-480-3600. 3989. Or you can write to us at Dale Wynn Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara, Suite 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. And thank you so much for watching Las Vegas Tonight.
A potential audience of more than 50 million people is reached every week by Las Vegas Tonight. To keep the important message of Christ's love on the air, we need your prayers and financial blessings. Please send your tax-deductible gift to Dale Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. For a donation of $25 or more, we'll send you a copy of Dale Davidson's new book, Las Vegas Tonight, From Sin City to Vegas Saints. You'll love these inspiring stories of Las Vegas Christians who are changing the world. Or donate to the ministry, or order Dale's book by going to vegassaints.org. That's vegassaints.org. Or call us today at 702-480-3989. That's 480-3989. God bless you. Dale Davidson and the team at Las Vegas Tonight firmly believe that the only solution to today's serious problems is the saving knowledge of Jesus Christ. Dale carefully selects his guests on the show, making sure that their dedication to our Lord is heartfelt and genuine, and that their ministries are making a strong and positive difference in the world. Dale doesn't charge anyone to be on Las Vegas Tonight. The cost to produce and air the programs are covered by donations from our ministry's partners. We thank you so much for your financial support, and most of all for your prayers. Please consider becoming a partner of Dale Wynn Davidson Ministries for just $40 per month. For a little more than $1 a day, you'll be helping us bring the good news of Jesus Christ to millions of people around the world. The television networks that broadcast the program reach from coast to coast in the United States, and through internet apps cover the entire world. Your $40 monthly contribution entitles you to Dale's newsletter that gives you a behind-the-scenes look at the production of Las Vegas Tonight and inside information on the exciting guests Dale interviews on every episode. You'll also receive a copy of Dale's book, Las Vegas Tonight, From Sin City to Vegas Saints, an in-depth look at 10 of Dale's most intriguing guests, plus a very personal story of how Dale came to Christ and the challenges he faces in bringing the good news to the world. Become a partner of our ministry today by going to Dale Wynn Davidson Ministries website and clicking on the donate button, or by emailing Dale at dale@lasvegastonight.tv. Or you could write him at Dale Davidson, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, Suite 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. Thank you for watching Las Vegas Tonight, and may God bless you abundantly. You've been watching Las Vegas Tonight with Dale Davidson. Send your tax-deductible gifts to Dale Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. Or call 702-480-3989. Thanks for watching.
Social Media Shows is a production company based here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We offer these services. We've been streaming shows live in real time for over 4 years on major social media platforms, and also on our website socialmediashows.com. And we are now on Roku TV. We welcome you to have your own show on our TV network. Call us 651-955-8743 or email us at admin@socialmediashows.com.
Hello, everyone. This is Joseph Skoda with Social Media Shows. Well, I thank all of you for your support through these last several years, and it's been a lot of fun. We've given people a voice they never had before. Now, Social Media Shows is always collaborating with our veterans to help them do things and help out the veterans who are struggling today. And we teamed up with GI Connections, connecting veterans with resources. So please consider helping and donating to this great cause because we're always doing things for veterans. So GI Connections, social media shows, and you is what makes the world a better place. Once again, Joseph Skoda, proud United States Air Force veteran.